Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. And if you see on your camera, we've got the fire department here, so I'm going to ask Chief Dennehy if he start the pledge for us.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the reason for all of the firefighters here is the retirement of Sean Ricard after 38 years on the Westford Fire Department. So amazing service. Thank you, Sean. And I'm going to let the chief take over and talk about his career.
I'm going to make Sean uncomfortable as I am. So we want to congratulate Sean on his remarkable 38-year career with the Westford Fire Department, which began in 1987 as auxiliary firefighter. Over the years, he demonstrated unwavering dedication, becoming a call firefighter in 1991 and ultimately joining full-time in 1997. Alongside his firefighting duties, Sean also served as the department's fleet mechanic, which oftentimes is a thankless responsibility. Kept this fleet up and running, which is remarkable, and we wish Sean a long and happy retirement. Thank you, Chief.
It's getting, as the weeks go by, months go by, we're losing more and more of our veterans, especially the fire department. I see another one, Dave, behind you. So thank you for your service, and look forward to there's new blood coming up, and teach you everything you know really, really quickly.
Right. There's a lot of institutional knowledge. I mean, Sean, I mean, we can all say that there's many nights and weekends we're on the phone with him trying to figure out how to get something running or get something back to Station 3. So it's going to be big shoes to fill, and I'm not quite sure how we're going to do it, but hopefully we can figure it out.
Well, the days when they were simple engines, simple pumps are gone. Now it's electronics and all kinds of fun stuff. So I can imagine complications.
I'd just like to thank the board. I'm not for letting me perform my job. And townspeople, we had a great run. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for your service.
Yeah.
If you want to get roast, you can feel free, but
I did make sure that he's keeping his phone number. I will call him. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome to stay if you like.
Really?
Front stairs, no, front stairs, let's go. Front stairs.
Thanks, Aaron. And there were none.
I also wanted to congratulate Westford Academy girls cross country team on winning the state championship. They've already been to the State House. They've been to Lieutenant Governor's to work, I think, second place compared to them. But congratulations! It's an amazing feat to be state champions, and that's a grueling sport. So really, my hats off to all those girls. With that, is there anything else to be discussed under open forum?
I just have one thing. I just want to acknowledge that this week is the First Responders Wellness Week, and I know that our police department is posting various initiatives that they're taking on behalf of the first responders here in Westford to maintain their, health and safety. it seems particularly fitting to me that this is the week that is Wellness Week in light of the tragic circumstances that we had last week in Westford. I'd like to thank the police, the fire department, the highway department, everybody else who was involved in Westford, along with our associated towns and the state for helping us in the search that we had for this individual last week. Sadly, it ended tragically, but thank you to all of you, and thank you to our first responders who are now left with dealing with the aftermath of that, and hopefully this week and their wellness activities and initiatives helps them process the whole thing. So thank you all very much.
Anything else for open forum? Okay, just so we're clear, so Tom is vote tonight, so all of our votes will be by roll call. So first item on the agenda that requires that vote, a street closure request for the Apple Blossom Parade. Applicant is the Westford Kiwanis, Michael Harm in particular. The date is May 17th, mark your calendars, from 8:30 to 12:30, with various roads around the common closed. Also a town common request for the Memorial Day service. Applicant is Terry Sater, sitting in the front row, a Veterans Service Officer. The date is May 25th, also mark your calendar. That will be from 8 a.m. till 2 p.m. And then additionally, banner request for the Apple Blossom Parade and Festival. Again, Westford Kiwanis, Michael Harm. The display dates from May 9th through May 19th of 2025 in front of the library. A banner request for the Memorial Day services. Also a request from the Veterans Services Officer, Terry Stater. That will also be posted, so that will be up May 19th through May 27th in front of the library. And finally, Westfest, sponsored by the Westford Education Foundation. Banner dates September 12th through the 22nd of 2025 in front of First Parish Church with we've already, I guess, proposed this before, but this is a new date for the change of the event. So is there a motion to take everything this far, subject to public safety comments?
So moved.
Second that. Okay, all in favor, Tom?
Aye.
John? Aye. Andrea?
Aye.
Chris? Aye. And I'm an aye. And finally, because it's a little bit different, a special license for a wine and beer tasting event. Applicant is Blessed Trinity Parish. Request from Bianca Rose. It is May 17th, 2025 at St. Catherine's Parish Center from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. I believe this is required a permit.
That actually goes through the town manager's office, but I'm assuming it's all in
Yeah,
order.
it's a one-day license, special permit, yes.
So I want to take it separately because there is a license. With that in mind, is a motion to approve.
So moved.
All in favor, Chris?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
John? Aye. Tom?
Aye.
Aye. Next is a request to approve the application for a common victuals license. I'm gonna miss saying that. Common victuals license for Little Town Coffee located at 129 Littleton Road. Applicants are Casey Winter and Philip Griffin. Are either online or?
I don't see them online.
Okay.
It's a simple process, basically, and they've got everything there. I just was looking at it, so. It looks like they're inside Floral Arts.
Yeah.
A lot of new small businesses coming to town. It's nice to see the economy
Right.
picking up a little bit there.
I guess they have a food truck in Chelmsford and maybe in Littleton, and they wanted to have their first brick and mortar location in Westford because a lot of the Westford teachers and staff like to go there on their way in, so.
Very good.
Excellent. I'll move to approve.
Second. All in favor, Andrea?
Aye.
John? Aye. Chris? Aye. Tom?
Aye.
And I'm an aye.
Welcome to Westford.
Welcome to Westford. And now, with apologies, so we have next on the agenda is a review of the 2025 annual town meeting with moderator Angela Harkness. And we knew actually that Angela would be out of town, and we had agreed, we being Kristen, or Kristen and I, to postpone this to April 8th. Apologies, it did not get removed from our agenda, but this gives me a chance to say thank you to town staff, who once again put on a flawless performance, to Angela for a great job moderating, to police, fire for their attendance and keeping things orderly, for all of our volunteers that man the booths to check us all in, and hand out clickers and then collect those clickers back again. A lot of many hands made this thing work, and it came together very well. So thank you to everyone who made that possible on a very nice Saturday when there were other things you could have been doing. Any?
Just thank you to all that showed up.
Thank you to the voters who showed up.
Citizens showed up and
I
voted.
think we had 511 registered voters come in and out throughout the day. And Tom has his hand.
This is on the agenda, if anyone, well, we will come back on April 8th with Angela, but since it is on the agenda, it's fair game if anybody wants to say something tonight, and Tom has his hand up, so.
Yeah, so echoing the compliments for a very well-run event, and certainly compliments to the moderator. Just since we had our Robinson School Committee meeting today, I was wondering, maybe Kristen or John, if you just wanted to share what's coming next for that very important public effort that was voted in favor of in the meeting.
You want me to go or do you want to go?
You know more about.
Okay, sure. So under Article 7, that was passed to move forward with the Robinson feasibility study. The next step in the process is to deliver our certified vote to the MSBA, which town clerk already started working on yesterday. And we will be coming back to the board for a signed agreement to then enter into that feasibility phase with the MSBA. During the next few months, we will be preparing a request for inquiries for owner's project manager, vetting that process with the MSBA, bringing an owner's project manager on board to represent the town, and then preparing additional bid documents to bring a designer on board to make sure that we're preparing the adequate feasibility documents. And those documents will be reviewed by the MSBA before we pick a designer, as they have special expertise in how that operates. We anticipate that the work will begin in earnest late summer for that feasibility study, which will have a variety of public forums and provide feedback on renovation, expansion, do nothing, new space, new sites, all of those good things. And then we'll be going through a series of vetting and cost estimating. And then if we do decide to move forward with an option, coming back to town meeting for what that will cost and how we will proceed with that option. So continuing to do a lot of processing in the background over the next month or two, but you'll see some public outreach over the late summer.
Yeah, thanks. That's exactly what I was thinking. Sort of lots of work going on, but the public should be re-engaged late summer, early fall to explore some of the options that we're thinking about. And then, Scott, one other, I guess, sort of a check-in on the dismissed voter petition article that was at the end of the agenda. I guess just making sure, is it Plan A that we're going to explore non-school voting options for the next election?
So I can.
Yeah, there were two things I want to mention, so thank you, that's one of the ones, so yes.
So we will be having elections as normal this May 6th at Westford Academy in Stony Brook. We're not making any changes for this round. We've committed as staff to continue to explore school time options and non-school time options for both the facilities that we have now and other facilities. I've had preliminary conversations with the town clerk and the facilities director. I wanted to give them through town meeting to get through that, but we will begin a working group in earnest likely next week. And I think we'll have about a 3 to 5 month time frame of that investigation, updating the board as we're going on. I want to make sure we're not missing anything. We do want to do some public outreach and get feedback from the voters, and then coming to the select board with a recommendation, likely late summer.
Thanks.
And then finally, I don't know if you're going to do it again, Chris.
I was gonna ask that same question, but I have a new question if I may. I know we polled to see how many people would come. I forget the numbers, but were we somewhat
So we
close?
polled and we guesstimated 500 and we were at 511. So again, we were pretty
Pretty good.
Very good.
So one thing that I think, 500 is not, it's an okay number, right? We'd love to obviously to see more. So with the communication consultants on board, was there anything that they may have done special to help try to drive numbers, or anything that they can help us with in the future to help drive more people to come to town meeting and be more engaged?
So they really ramped up the PR for town meeting 3 weeks in advance with 2 to 3 posts on our website and our social media a day. They will be delivering those analytics to us at the end of the month, so we can actually see how many clicks, how many views, what days of the week were our highest views, and all of that. So they're working in the background right now on those types of analytics. So I can't really give you much right now, but we will
Nope. The
definitely have
fact
an
that
update
they're
in the
gonna come
future.
back at some point, I think would be great to hear, and also to hear if the numbers are not great, what are some alternative
absolutely.
strategies that they could recommend that we follow?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
So the third thing I wanted to mention was the resolution that was passed to have the select board create grass fields at Nutting Road.
No, not to create
No.
grass fields.
But-
The resolution was the select board to work with the CPC committee to investigate the option of grass fields at Nutting. Right.
But the point is, we have agreed, that is, again, I think Kristen and I, that the select board will be working through the Parks and Rec department to get the application to the CPC to make it happen, so.
Well, we don't know if that's the option. That could be an
Well, that could be an
option,
option.
right?
But the point is that I at town meeting said the select board could not actually make it happen, but there are paths that we can take indirectly to make it happen.
And there is gonna be an after-action meeting on Friday of this week between the interested parties of that Nutting Field project to understand what was said at town meeting, what was the outreach in advance, what could we do better or not do better, and what route do we wanna move forward with? So we are having that,
Right, but my understanding is you're gonna investigate
correct.
the option of grass fields at this point.
Right, so
Weigh that against what was proposed at town meeting and.
yes, so the vice chair of the Community Preservation Commission had contacted me. She had been contacted by the head of the Community Preservation Coalition, who was apparently monitoring our meeting, and reached out to her and said, absolutely, CPA funds may be used for
Grass.
the grass replacement as well as the removal of the existing
Okay.
surface.
Mhm.
So that is good news.
That's very good
And,
news.
you know, as Christian said, there is gonna be a debriefing session, and a lot of my commissioners from the Park and Rec Commission side are asking questions about what our next steps at our next meeting, which is the second Monday in April. We will be discussing, you know, what the commission feels is gonna be the next step, so we'll keep everybody informed.
Anything else on town meeting that you wanna bring up? Not appearing,
Actually, you know what, what do people think about the food? Did that work for people? It looked like a lot of people were taking
I think we only had
advantage of it.
20 extra meals, so I think we estimated well on the meals. I did not purchase one, but I don't know how people, I haven't heard any pros or cons of the meals.
I was surprised,
I think there was a lot of people eating in the cafeteria.
There was,
There were,
it was pretty full, I thought, so I
Yeah.
thought that, you know, that might be something we wanna replicate in the future. Seemed like it was convenient for folks.
okay, next item is the request from the Monuments and Memorials Committee to install a bench to our Dr. Andreas Athanazo, a longtime physician, in fact, my children's physician, at Peter West at the Jack Walsh Field. Terry, you're here to speak to that, so welcome, and
I wasn't quite prepared because your package wasn't quite yet completed, but I will speak to it. Sorry, but we have been, we put it out. I'm sorry, Terry Stater, and I'm the chair of the Monuments and Memorials Committee. And we have, it's gone in front of all the various boards. Parks and Rec approved it actually before our last meeting at Monuments and Memorials. And we've worked with conservation and we've got placements. There's some rework going to be doing over in the Jack Walsh Field. So we're tied in with DPW on getting that bench placed at the same time that rework is going to be done. So it was a perfect timing and we had a nice blend of all the department heads getting together, applicable department heads getting it put together, and we're ready to go.
I think it's great that a pediatrician's got his bench at the field where kids can go outside and.
It's right, and it's close to
It's a
his
perfect
family,
location
it's
for
close to his family, so he'll be able to take his grandchildren there, we understand, so.
And he was a great doctor for my 3 kids, so I appreciate his.
He's a great doctor for my 3 kids and my wife, so he was her physician.
Seemed to be a pretty good sentiment about that,
Yeah.
and it was something a little different this time. So as we know, that's what we wanted to try and reach out.
Thank you for orchestrating and shepherding it through.
So is there a
I'll
motion?
move to approve.
Thank you. All in favor, Andrea,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
I'm an aye. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Next, we have a request from the town clerk's office to approve and sign the 2025 liquor license renewal certification.
For
This is
For what?
This is for Diggy's is
Oh.
not renewing their license, and Pepper Dining Inc. is doing business as Chili's is not renewing their license. So we just missed those on the last one because they were not renewing, but we still do need to notify the state of that.
Okay, that was just my question, is like,
Yeah, they had
who,
those two and
So
everything
those
else in the
licenses
land.
become available for a new.
I believe that Chili's transferred to Stir,
yeah,
and I don't recall what happened with the Diggy's license. I think Country Kitchen has,
I think they did, but I don't know what it is now. It's
there's
next
the
to
Yoku Ramen,
Classic Kitchen.
that's a kitchen. There's the ramen.
That's a form that usually I had you, when I was doing it, used to have you sign with all the million licenses, and now you just have your signatures put on them so you don't go through all that. But that's a form, I know, that does have to go to the state. So,
Actually, when you had one case where we closed a liquor store in, Westford the marketplace closed, we transferred the license over to the seller. They're required a vote of the board. If they just take it to the same location, it doesn't require
Right.
the.
I honestly was a little confused because I think both those licenses were transferred, so
think they were
they
transferred
must have paid for them because they're gonna have the same number. But I'm not there, so never mind. It's no harm done to sign it,
so I'll move to
so.
approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, John,
Aye.
Andrea,
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
I'm an aye. Minutes for approval and for release, our regular session meetings of February 11th, 2025 and February 25th, 2025. Any amendments or is there a motion to approve?
To approve.
Second?
All in favor, Chris?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Board reports or updates? We kind of covered those prior to town meeting, didn't we? So,
I don't- I'd just like to give an update on the Economic Development Committee, if I may. I know Tom was traveling, wasn't able to make our event that we had on Pi Day, March 14th over at NetScout. We had over 60 business owners, legislators, town staff there for a presentation by myself, the economic development consultant, and then a roundtable with business owners in Westford of why they chose to come here and why they continue to stay here. So we're really ramping up with that consultant and doing some good work. We sent out a thank you yesterday with the presentation and requesting feedback from the attendees of what they may want to see in the future related to that event. And I think the logo Discover Westford was well received as well at that event. So thank you to NetScout for hosting us, and thank you to the Economic Development Committee and our consultant for coordinating that event.
are these now official?
Those are now official, yes.
So the official is town strategic plan. Highlight, of course, is the front page with your responding select board there, but if you saw Kristen's presentation at town meeting, that was sort of putting our sort of the town in the context of this strategic plan. So it is available. Thank you for Kristen and all of the staff and the consultants for putting this together. It's really professional looking and it looks nice.
Thank you. Thank you for your support.
And speaking of support, Kristen, it's now time for your report.
Okay, ahead of schedule. All right, several items asking for authorization to sign. As we noted a few months ago, NIMCOG is no longer providing sealers of weights and measures services to the town of Westford or other communities. They've discontinued that. We are looking to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the town of Chelmsford, who currently has a staff member training in these services, who's willing to take on Westford. They are also going to be taking on the town of Tewksbury as well. So we've had that MOU approved by town council. Also, we do have adequate budget for fiscal '25 and adequate budget for fiscal '26 was approved at town meeting on Saturday. Also asking for authorization for me to sign a regional housing services office Office Pilot Program Memorandum of Understanding with NIMCOG. The 9 communities of NIMCOG got together and determined that there is a need in the region to have a staff person help us with regional housing matters, monitoring where there's housing needs, eventually potentially taking on monitoring services for communities if we're comfortable with that. But right now, there's no cost to the town of Westford. This is a pilot program that NIMCOG is funding through their services.
I'm not opposing it, but I guess I don't understand what they're gonna do, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I read their proposal and I really, I didn't understand what they were gonna do and what they were gonna be offering, to be honest with you. So I'm not gonna oppose it. It doesn't cost the town anything, but I don't know what we're gonna, like I said, I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know what we're gonna get out of it.
Is that in the context of our town's affordable housing plan?
It is. It's in the context of our town's affordable housing plan, working with our affordable housing trust, our housing authority, our planning staff who don't have the capacity to do housing.
What are they gonna do?
I think they're still working that out with the member communities, and I understand your concern.
I get that that's sort of their mission.
Yeah.
But in drilling down, it's like, what are you actually gonna do? So, but it doesn't cost us anything, so.
And I'll continue to report back on,
Hopefully we get more than we pay for.
Right.
I'll continue to report back to the board on the services that they are providing.
Any other questions?
Authorizing the town manager to submit a grant for the fiscal '25 Green Communities grant round. Authorize the town manager to execute 2 agreements for peer review services for a 530 unit proposal at 37 Powers Road. You may recall that the planning board opened their public hearing last week, and we do have peer reviews ongoing for architectural design that was under $10,000, so that did not require approval. And then we have a traffic review, and we have a tie and bond stormwater civil engineering review. And I believe that the printout that I have on the agenda is incorrect. There is a dollar amount associated with that.
I think it was 15,500, but I'm not sure.
Yes. 15,500, yes.
So we can stop here and make a motion on these 4 before we get to the next one.
Sure, I'll move to approve.
Second.
All in favor, Tom?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
John? I'm an aye.
I'll let Mike take item E, the POP renewal.
Well, I'll actually ask Tom if he'd like to speak to it. Basically, CASC. So CASC has been working with our office and with our consultant, Good Energy, that you've seen we have the revised plan in place with them. And essentially the recommendation is leave the program as it is for the next 2 years. And we're waiting on basically that aggregation agreement to bid, hopefully sometime in the next month.
And actually, there are 2 Toms in the audience. This is Tom Teller, 9 Texas Road, right? Because I only have these just about to get memorized.
Well said, well said. Yes, and CEASC did vote that we discussed increasing the share and the default, but felt that in the current environment, it was best to leave it that way. And we noted that not as the end of this probable contract, which may be 2 or 3 years, but by the end of the next contract, we would be at the target that is set in the roadmap. We'd be at 90% renewable with the default product.
That's fabulous.
Any questions? There's a motion to accept the recommendation of the committee and staff.
So moved.
All in favor, Chris?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
I'm an aye.
Item F is for grants, the National Association of County and City Health Officials for the MRC Aura 25 grant in the amount of $10,000 as requested by the Health Department.
Oh, and by the way, sorry, thank you, Tom, and thank you for the
Yes,
CSAC committee
thank
for all of your bad manners, but I know you put a lot of thought into this, so thank you for that.
You did a great job.
So, let's do the grant, let's do everything else next.
Okay. Did you have a question?
Go directly to, excuse me.
That goes to the health department.
Okay, I saw it had on here as organization, Town Hall, Town of Westford, Town Hall through Town of Westford is the organization. I never understood what that meant.
Let's get to it.
It's on one of their documents. They talk about organization. Town of Westford, Town Hall through Town of Westford. And that's on the signature certification of non-debarment or something suspension. I don't know, we just wanted to make sure it goes directly to them or it goes to the town and then they.
Well, all of the checks go to Town of Westford, and then the town accountant puts it in the appropriate account.
Do you want a motion to approve?
Sure, why not?
So moved.
Wasting money.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, Tom?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
One aye.
And then I apologize, I just realized that the amended agenda did not make it to your table. I have the amended agenda here, so there's actually 4 purchase orders. It did get posted properly, so we've Hatch for turbidity meters for the Nutting Road Water Treatment Plant in the amount of $16,618.97 as requested by the Water Department. We have tie and bond for professional engineering services for the Forge Village and Nutting Road PFAS treatment plants in the amount of $2,170,000 as requested by the Water Department. John, do you have a question on that one?
Well, I had a question on that. Maybe Mike could answer this is,
We also have Mark Warren on the line as well.
how would you characterize these services? I mean, it looks like they're doing a lot of observation, but what do they do if they observe something that's wrong? Or it looks like they're inspectors to some degree.
Which one are you talking about?
About the tie and bond contract, the engineer contract.
Mark, can you speak to that?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Yes, that will be one of their many functions is to act as an inspector. They will actually have on-site inspectors during most of the construction.
They characterize it in their contract as observation.
I was gonna say, am I paying $2.17 million for them to
observation.
observe?
Yeah, and the question I
They
had,
don't. Yeah, they're going to observe and report, and we'll make changes accordingly.
so they would report to you
Correct.
and you would execute the changes needed, or?
That is correct. Yes, they're basically my eyes.
Is that basically like an OPM?
It's in a sense, yes.
It almost sounds like they don't have the same authority as an OPM. But if they observe, do they have direct contact with the contractor if they see something is wrong, for example?
I guess what.
Right. I'm sorry. I don't know if they technically meet the definition of an OPM. They are ultimately the water department and myself will have authority to make the necessary changes.
Who designed these projects?
Tie and bonded.
So they're continuing on.
They're gonna, and this also is their construction services, all the paperwork that's required according to the grant. They're reviewing drawings, and I believe they're processing change orders, punch
Correct.
lists, and then conducting the final inspections, and then they're doing all of the observations for, I think it's 4,000 hours for the project.
Yeah.
And then
That's
reviewing
right.
all the startup services and preparing the operations and maintenance manual. And then they're also preparing all of the record drawings, so the as-built plans, which will require survey, and then doing all the closeout documents as well.
So the 4,000, they'll be on site then during
Correct.
construction.
Yes.
One guy's on every day. I saw that. But they designed the project and now they're doing the
I guess I have,
management of it.
I don't know.
I guess, I'm confused, especially when I think that like change orders.
I have some
So
concerns
the-
about tie and bond monitoring their own
Yeah,
design.
and processing their
Well-
own change orders.
Yeah,
They'll be monitoring the contractors to make sure that they, are going to follow the design, essentially.
And the only conflict might be is if there are design errors that are detected. I mean, I
something
think-
doesn't sit right with me about, having the person who designed the contract of the building, in the construction, to then monitor its own construct, its
Well,
own
they're
design
not,
and
they're not the
construction.
contractor, so
Yeah.
they are monitoring the contractor that was selected. Mark, who was the contractor
Yes.
selected?
The contractor is RH White. So correct, Kristen, they'll be monitoring RH White, the contractor that won the bid award.
To make sure that RH White is constructing the project in accordance with Ty and Bond's design.
All right,
So Ty and Bond is not constructing the project, a general contractor that we went out to bid is constructing the project.
They're providing the construction management and inspection services.
That's correct.
What they're doing.
Yes.
So is this 2 million in range for a project of this cost?
It is, and it was, Mark, what was the budget amount for this?
Yeah, sure. So it was $24.5 million were appropriated back in 2024 for the entire project. And we are actually within that budget.
What was the design cost?
Design cost was, bear with me, $1.15 million.
A total of $3.something million. Design and construction services.
So that's
Over 10%.
Yes.
This is a regular, we're doing the.
15% kind of.
is that within line of this?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it is.
It is.
We should try to do it for 8%.
That's what I think, I mean, I think back when we did with the fire station, I think even, in that case, we should, the architects were kind of the over, plus the OPM, so. Sounds about right in terms of a fraction, yeah.
All right. Thanks, Mark.
No problem.
And moving on, Taylor and Lloyd for the 2024 International Dump, six-wheel dump truck in the amount of $258,698 as requested by Public Works. And Taylor and Lloyd for a 2024 swap loader truck in the amount of $28,493 as requested by the Department of Public Works.
I had a question on those two. They had options that were listed also, and this was the minimum without the options. So what happens to the options that were listed? They're over and above
Let me see
this
if,
cost. At least that's the way I read it.
let me see if Kyle can get on. I think he was.
Well, that's probably not.
What options are you referring to?
Well, if you look on the, let me get it.
Do you want to do the contracts and then we can go back to this, because I'm seeing if Kyle can join for the question.
Let's do 1 and 3 at least on the contracts.
1 and 3, okay. Let's go back to the agenda. So under contracts, we have J. Healy and Sons for a contract extension for 1 year for the small tank diesel fuel delivery.
What actually?
It's 1, so this is not your amended agenda. I'm reading from your amended agenda, 1 year. Wakefield, excuse me, you wanted to do 3, correct? Mayor Services for the cleaning and redevelopment of the Forge 2 well in the amount of $20,975,000 as requested by the Water Department.
Is Kyle there yet?
I do not see him
Okay,
yet.
so, yeah, if you want to wait on this one, I wanted to know that, I think Ellen's online. and-
Ellen is on the
and
line,
Tom is
yes,
here.
yep.
Tom Wimberg, the other Tom, from the Town Building Committee, so I just wanted to.
So we went out to bid for moving services for the library to move to 515 Groton Road and to also move ancillary storage into another location, and then to move all of that material back into the library once it's completed. The budget for this was almost $300,000, I believe. It came in at $180,654. So Ellen Rainville is here to answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions?
Not when something comes to $120,000.
Well, so to be clear, we had the meeting, I asked the question, why so low? But they meet all of our requirements, and the understanding was that they're ready to go, and so,
It's just good time.
it's great
I mean,
timing.
hit the right timing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's, as
The
already,
bids were high.
was everything.
of the 4 bids we received, 2 were under budget and 2 were over budget. And we had a number, I believe 9 different firms at our walkthrough. And all of the firms were had to qualify by having moved a library that had over 100,000 items. They had to have moved 3 libraries of that size within recent years. And we got wonderful references for this firm as well from another local library.
Great.
So I guess there's Kyle.
So, well, I'll move to approve the 3 contracts.
Okay.
Yeah, second.
Okay. In that case, we'll vote on that. John?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks for joining, Kyle. John had a question about.
Thank you, Ellen and Tom.
Thank you, Ellen and
Thank you,
Tom.
Ellen. Thank you,
Thank
Tom.
you.
Yeah, I had a question on the trucks. It looks like we're funding the bare cost, the actual cost, then there was optional equipment listed on both of them. Doesn't look like that was funded.
Yeah, so that, thank you for the question, John. Sorry, I wasn't clear. So what you're voting on tonight is the Chapter 90 portion of the truck, which is the truck, the dump body, or the swap loader mechanism. Chapter 90 doesn't allow for funding of snowplow equipment, i.e. the computer that runs the spreaders or the plows themselves, which is what was approved Saturday at town meeting. So what you're seeing is a split part of the total cost of the truck based on what was eligible for the Chapter 90 funding.
Okay, so where's the money for the optional come from? Is that in the
Capital budget
capital budget?
that we voted on at town meeting, that you voted on at town meeting.
I'll go back and look. Okay, fine, I missed that. Thank you.
Okay, with that in mind, is there a motion to approve all the purchase orders?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, Chris?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
I'm an aye.
Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Shall I?
I have a question. Do you have a question with correspondence?
Correspondence.
No, I was gonna ask if there were questions before I moved to waive it, because I think that there might be.
Yes, I have questions,
Okay.
et cetera. I just, you know.
I expected it was, that's why I did not wisely push it forward.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, one of the pieces of correspondence was the situation with the Drew farmhouse. So, Kristen, can you shed some light on what
can.
might be happening there?
Yep, so, as you're aware, the town of Westford has several agreements with the, Drew Farmhouse Inc. One, a, CPA grant agreement, one an affordable housing agreement, one a historic preservation restriction. The affordable housing restriction does require that the Drew Farmhouse Inc. has a monitoring agent that helps with the lottery for the project and then monitors on a year-to-year basis the tenants that are in those units and the affordability that they can contribute to. Our understanding is that the Drew Farmhouse was using Choice, Chelmsford Housing Authority, as their monitoring agent and has subsequently let them go. We are not aware this time if they have a new monitoring agent. I had a phone call this evening with the representative from the Drew Farmhouse. She says they do, but I don't have that information in-house. And we're also getting some emails and calls from prospective tenants that they are not receiving proper information regarding their tenancy at that location. So we are currently investigating this with town council, reviewing all of our restrictions and understanding what our next steps are related to that project. We have not issued an occupancy permit for the project because there are still some ongoing matters related to fire protection and sprinkler systems. We're still understanding where that puts us in terms of issuing that occupancy permit if those matters come into play and where we are in terms of compliance with the restrictions.
Thank you for that update.
Any other comments?
Well, there was one letter in there that we received later from the dismissed.
From Choice.
It had some concerns about compliance with.
Right, and we're reviewing that compliance right now. It's the forefront of our, I talked about it almost all day today.
I just want to make sure that was included.
Yeah, but they're having discussions with town council, regarding that. Leave it there.
So I guess we'll get an update at maybe the next meeting.
Potentially.
Okay.
We'll see what we can talk about in public versus if we need an executive
What the
session.
impact is. See what the impact is as far as our agreement or anything else.
Okay, with that, is there anything, is there much to waive, really, a further perk? Further correspondence?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Yeah, second.
All in favor, Chris?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
Aye, I'm gonna confuse myself one of these times, but.
You're doing all right, I tell you.
And is
Motion to adjourn?
there a second?
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's okay.
That's all right, we
Yeah,
can-
probably, yeah, thank you.